listening.
14 again.
Here we are, Jonesy's Jukebox. We're like two teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
My guest, Rick Springfield. That was the Shadows Apache.
Where'd you grow up?
In Hammersmith, West London.
Right. I was in Woking, actually Horsell was the name of the town, and it was so unknown.
Horsell?
You had to put on the envelope, Horsell near Woking.
Near Woking.
Near Woking. and the Beatles actually played in Guildford, which is not far, the next stop on the line. When I was there, they played, I didn't know it, but they played in Guildford when I was there.
You never saw the Beatles?
I saw them in '64 in Australia, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we got them early.
was it Beatlemania?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was. They'd hit over here, but they'd had a couple of albums out already in England and Australia, because we're very much the English music scene rather than the American music scene in Australia. So we got them. Yeah, it was incredible. I was like,
was it just screaming? Could you hear anything?
I screamed. Back then, all the opening bands were Australian, right? And Australia was still still had the pompadour and the black leather suits and was still doing Elvis stuff, right? And then the Beatles walk on in Cuban heels and these suits and the long hair and these amazing-looking guitars, and they looked like they'd come from friggin' Mars.
Yeah.
It looked like aliens had landed, and they started playing, and I'm 14, and I just involuntarily I start friggin' screaming. And it doesn't stop until they leave, and it's the most amazing. It was insane, absolutely uncontrolled screaming.
And could you make out what they were playing?
Yeah, totally. You knew it so well, if you didn't know the song, you wouldn't be able to hear it. But if you knew the song, you could follow it for sure.
The suits with no collar was a good move as well.
Oh, everything. The haircuts. The whole story about them is just like, really? That's like someone didn't write that. That just happened. All that stuff.
Yeah, it's and plus they could write a decent song.
They wrote a couple of good songs. They wrote a couple. They wrote all the good songs. There are none left.
Oh man, yeah, I remember watching on the box. Was it Help? One of them ones where they're running down the road and all the birds are chasing them.
Oh, that's Hard Day's Night. Yeah, that George falls and looks like he really frigging hurts himself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you remember, like it wasn't planned. He looked like he went down hard.
Yeah. So we had Apache, beautiful, by our man Hank. Then we had Cliff Richard, who always backed the Shadows. Always backed.
Always, even when they had their own hits. Yeah, it was. And they sounded great live too. But Hank was actually the funny story when Hank had the first Strat that came to Europe, and Cliff came to America and brought it over, and they had like heavy gauge strings on them, and they'd heard like all these great country players playing tellies. They thought it was a Strat they were playing because they thought, well, they must be playing the most expensive guitar, and the strings are really hard. And Hank thought that Americans were just stronger. He couldn't bend this. He said it was so hard to play. He said, "Wow, those Americans must be all that steak and milk that they eat, that they have stronger fingers." And it was just they use lighter strings. That was all.
Steak and milk.
That was a view, from there.
John Wayne.
Yeah, was our view of America back then.
Yeah.
It was bigger and better.
Had them Robert Mitchum hands.
Yeah. Wow, that must be so strong over there.
Steak and milk.
He said that. They thought it was all the steak and milk they were eating.
They were just... this was prior to really getting down with electric guitars, right? That was like the beginning of it.
Yeah, it was played with great finesse. He was a great player, very talented player, and there was a couple of times he dug in. There's a song called Frightened City where you can actually hear the pick digging into the strings. He did play hard when he wanted to.
Yeah,
but,
when he was angry.
Yeah. I don't know if Hank ever gets angry.
I don't think he ever gets.
He's
maybe
such a
when he's
sweetheart.
by himself, when he's at home.
Maybe.
He beat himself up.
Yeah. No broken guitars in Hank's house.
No TV out the windows there. Cliff Richard's Don't Talk to Him, beautiful pop song.
Yeah.
I love that song. And then we had Zoot.
Oh, my God.
Eleanor Rigby.
There you go. There you go, mate.
G'day.
G'day. Yeah, here's one for you. An Aussie. We actually opened for the Hollies, that were a huge English band for us. Great harmonies, where Graham Nash from Crosby, Stills and Nash came from. And we opened for them, Zoot, and they played that song, Eleanor Rigby, for the Hollies on the radio, and the Hollies hated it. They bloody awful, mate. It's all horrible. Yeah. And we were crushed. We were so crushed.
Yeah. So how old was you then when you started Zoot?
I joined them. They were already a band going, and I joined them when I was 20. I just come back from Vietnam, actually. I had a band. I went to Vietnam in 68, 69, playing for the American troops, which is a whole other friggin' story.
Yeah.
But came back and...
there was a lot of Aussies out there in Vietnam,
Yeah. Well, we were the closest Occidental country, the closest Western country to Vietnam, so they'd bring Australian bands over. You know, we're the only ones dumb enough to go there during wartime without a gun. But it was pretty insane.
And you went over there. Did anyone know who you were?
No. We were an unknown, club band at the time. I was just a guitar player in the band. It was called MPD, and it was they just bring bands over as cheap as they could and rent them out to the army, and we'd play for the GIs out in the field.
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been weird.
Shot at, rocketed, mortared.
Oh man.
Really, it was like.
Really? Was that scary?
A band had been killed, actually, before we got there. An American band was...
That's a good advertisement.
I know. Yeah, come over here or get killed. Play for the... But it was insane. I mean, we were in danger probably maybe like 80% of the time. We were based out of Saigon and Da Nang, but we played in fire bases, which is where the GIs would go out and set up tents and put a perimeter of razor wire, and that's where we'd play. They'd fly us in Hueys, and we'd, hook up to a generator and play a show, and then either bunk with the GIs in these like filthy tents, where there's dirt everywhere, or we'd maybe, if we were lucky, we'd sleep in the officers' quarters, which actually had air conditioning. Yeah. But it was insane. We got rocketed and shot at, and it's a big thing. I was terrified. My mom said when they picked me up at the airport, I looked absolutely, my eyes were like wired, and there was a backfire, and I spun around in the car.
Yeah. So when did you learn playing guitar then? When you was a kid?
I started out with actually pretend guitars. I saw Hank Marvin's Red Strat, and I would cut out of cardboard these guitars and paint them red and lip sync the Shadows music in my living room window. Yeah, kind of imagining I'd be a player one day.
And you did.
Yeah,
you made it.
It's like Hilton, where he used to go in an elevator and pretend he was an elevator operator, and he ended up buying every freaking hotel. But I would pretend I was in a band, and it was very, and then I eventually got a guitar at 13. I said, I want a guitar, a real guitar. So,
electric or?
No, it was acoustic. It was like, 99.6 from Woolworths.
2 and 6, yeah.
Yeah, so, it was very, very cheap model, and I promptly cut it in half and painted it red, trying to make it into a Strat. It didn't work anymore.
Was you a natural? Did you pick it up easy, guitar?
Yeah, I did. I learned by ear, and and actually the first song I ever worked out for myself was "Please Don't Tease," a Cliff song. And I was just so excited that I could figure that out off a record. I was like 13 or 14.
That's crazy. You really are a Shadows nut.
Yeah, I mean the Cliff and the Shadows were my teenage, until the Beatles came along. They were absolutely it for me.
I saw you played with the Foo Fighters. Did you do that at their studio?
Yeah, we did it at
Sound City.
No, we did it at I think it's called 606. Is it? What's his studio called? Yeah, Dave's studio, the Foo Fighters studio. But it was a board. I recorded at Sound City. I recorded Working Class Dog, Jesse Girl, and Strangers and all that at Sound City, and Dave recorded Nevermind there, and he said, which is how it happens in music. He said his life he sees it in two parts: before Nevermind and after Nevermind.
Yeah.
And they recorded this, so it was a big moment for him in a really important studio. So when he made money and Sound City was closing down, he bought the board, knowing all the songs that had been recorded. I mean, they did Rumors there, Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty's "Damn the Torpedoes" that my wife is on. There's a little Midwestern voice at the start of one of the songs that says, "It's just the normal noises in here." And that's my wife. She was this answering phones. She was like 16, and everyone was hitting on her because she looked like Bridget Bardot and was amazing. And Shelley Yakus brought her in and said, "Can you say this into the microphone?" And she didn't know what they were doing, so she said it, and it ended up on the record. But so many records were recorded in that room, and Foreigner and.
So when you did Jesse's Girl with them, that wasn't a concert. That was in the studio. I looked on YouTube.
Oh no! Oh, with the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
No. We it started out. Dave said called up and said, "Oh, I'm doing a documentary on Sound City. I know you're a big part of Sound City. So will you come in and do an interview?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went and did an interview, and then he thought, "Well, we've got all these musicians together. Let's write songs together."
Yeah.
So I got together with the Foo Fighters and wrote a song called "The Man That Never Was," and then he said, "We're going to make a record." And then he said, "Well, we got a record. Let's tour." So we ended up doing a tour with Stevie Nicks and Rick Nielsen and John Fogerty and the Foo Fighters and Corey Taylor and just a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. We went to England. We went to South by Southwest. We did a show in Hollywood. It was really fun. It was great. We all just came on and did our thing, and we did the song that we wrote, for the documentary, and also did a couple of hits. So it was really a blast.
Well, you got a new album out, right?
I do.
The Shake King.
The Snake King.
That's what I said. The Snake King.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to play a track, Little Demon.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay. Rick Springfield, Jonesy's Jukebox. You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox. Cal OS. That was the Cars. Since You're Gone. Before that was Ian Hunter. Once Bitten, Twice Shy, the long version of the album. And here I am, I'm back. It's 6 minutes after 12 bells, and I'm a lot better than I was last week, that's for sure. But I'm not going to go on and feel sorry for myself. You got some junk there, Shovel?
Yeah, before we get started, I just want to say Jeremy Sumrow of Port Hueneme just heard today's 5K Band of the Day, Metallica, scored tickets to the second annual KLOS Sobroso Festival, and now is in the running for the $5,000. Next chance to qualify is at 3.
Mr. Rick Springfield.
Mr. Steve Jones.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing?
I've been better.
Yeah, I hear you got sick, huh?
But I'm on the mend. What do you got there? You got a tea bag?
I do.
Was it an English tea bag, or was it like some herbal stuff?
No, it's regular black tea. Yeah. My wife actually drinks PG Tips.
Is she?
No.
She's
but
American.
she was raised...
you read minds. You read minds. See that?
What?
You knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, right. I do read. I'm sorry. Is that not allowed on radio?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's good.
All
Mind
right.
reading's good.
What's that?
Mind reading is good.
Yeah, it is.
You made her drink.
No, she was her mentor when she came out here from the Midwest at like 14. This English lady, Jemima, who managed Sound City, the recording studio, was her mentor and took her to England and just became just a great person in her life. And so she's a lot of things in England that she still has over here, bangers and PG Tips. And I taught her how to eat Vegemite. That's my one contribution.
That's because it's Australian.
That's right, mate. Bloody oath.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
Flat out like a lizard drinking.
Why is Vegemite Australian and Marmite not Australian?
I have no idea.
It's the
I think
they
taste pretty similar, but Marmite's made out of beef, I believe, extract. Vegemite made out of vegetable extract. I think that's the only actual difference, but, really, there's no difference. It just looks like tar, and it tastes like, well, if you ever chewed on a beef bouillon cube.
Oh, I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
And Bovril. Do you remember
Bovril? Yeah.
Was another one.
Yep.
Same, but that was just all, the packaging was just red and white.
Yeah.
The other one puts a bit of yellow in it, the packaging. But I think the Vegemite and Marmite is the same company. Or not. They definitely package it similar.
I think Marmite is either English or Canadian or something, and Vegemite definitely from the land down under, mate.
Aye.
Absolutely.
Aye.
Yeah.
Good eye.
Glass of sheep dip and a Vegemite sandwich. You're good to go. And a beer.
Did you... So you initially, your parents were English, right?
My mom's English. My dad is. We actually have my family name's Springthorpe. I was changed on me to Springfield by my first employer, band-wise. He said, "They'll never understand Springthorpe to Springfield from now on." I went, "Oh, okay." But we have a Springfield that was a convict, came out on the convict ships.
Oh, you
from
bloody
London.
convicts, mate!
Yeah, it's a badge of honor in Australia. I actually have a letter because my uncle was big into the family tree thing, and he found a Springthorpe that was shipped out on the transport ships in 80 something.
What was he nicked for?
I know. I was trying to find that out. They didn't say. I'm hoping it's for
He was selling Vegemite off the back of a lorry.
Probably stealing it.
Yeah. That's funny, man. That's funny.
And I lived in England when I was a kid. My dad was in the army, so we moved to outside London in like '59 until we lived there for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I always say that England should have kept the convicts here and England should have moved to Australia.
Oh, a lot of them did. We had a lot of you pommy bastards.
But it would have been good, like if they would have swapped places.
Yeah, I know.
Convicts stay in England.
Yeah. Well, you stay in England where it's cold
yeah.
and snowing, and we'll go to Australia where it's sunny all the time, and you never need a sweater.
And it's massive. You're not going to.
It's huge. You'll never run into anybody.
And don't they have a lot of resources there?
They do. They have gold. They have uranium. They have opal. Huge natural resources that they are pillaging and sending all over the world. And yeah, Western Australia is like incredibly wealthy. Incredibly wealthy. It's like it's mostly desert.
Is that Perth?
Yeah, Perth.
Western?
Hank Marvin lives in Perth. And I actually had dinner with Hank. Hank was in a band when I was a kid living in England, the Shadows, with Cliff Richard's backing band, as you know, and he was the first guitar god, first English guitar god, and he's a guy that Clapton and Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck all looked up to this guy, and I actually was a giant fan and played. And was in Perth not long ago, and had dinner with him, and it was like the 14-year-old in me was like just freaking. But I'm going, yes, Hank, it's really nice having dinner with him. 14-year-olds, oh my God, it's Hank Marvin.
Yeah, how's he looking?
He looks great. He's got all his hair, and he's got these big glasses, but he's a lovely guy. I mean, he's absolutely just a sweet guy, really sweet. I mean, we was talking about what they used to use and instruments, all the stuff that a musician wants to know about their idols. You know,
they always use the red Strats, right?
Yeah, he was the first one with a Strat in Europe, and Cliff came over to America in like '59 and bought this what he thought was the top of the line. It was a Strat with gold plating, and took it back for Hank, and so that was the first Fender in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's and Bruce Welch has it now. Hank said that he gave it to Cliff, and
that was the rhythm guitar player,
the rhythm guitar player. Yeah. He said he won't give it back, but it's a very famous guitar.
So it's worth a few quid.
Yeah, you kidding? God, I used to cut out cardboard versions of it and put like a bit of bamboo in the neck and string around it and mime lip sync the Shadows records in my living room, reflection in my living room window. In England, where it's always dark.
Yeah.
And you could always see your reflection.
I used to love the Shadows. I've got a signed autograph, a picture of him, and he signed it to me.
Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually, a buddy of mine knew I was a big fan and got it signed. I have it. It's great.
I was in a band in Australia that actually opened for them when John Rostel was still alive. He was playing with them, and I got them. My very first album I ever owned was the Shadows album that my parents bought me for Christmas when we were living in England, and I took that and had them all sign it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Did he write a lot of the stuff? It was Bruce did.
Bruce
right?
wrote a lot of Cliff hits. Yeah, he wrote. Please Don't Tease and Summer Holiday. He wrote Summer Holiday.
Yeah. Did you like the movies?
I loved it. In an Elvis way, I loved them.
Man, they're so good.
Just seeing those guitars.
Those good.
Guitars. I mean, we say it's probably one of the greatest filmed. Where they just look so great. I mean, they all had their red Fenders. Cliff had this red suit on, and they had
and they were shot really good.
Simpkins Youth Club, drawing in the back. It's amazing.
What I like about him is there was a kind of innocence about it all.
Total.
It was like it's not like it is now.
No,
like,
no,
the opposite.
Yeah.
There was like this innocence.
It was almost still, they were just coming out of vaudeville, and there was still the mom and dad's kind of appeal thing. They still kind of played to that. There was not the complete, that's why they say Cliff was like the Elvis, but he wasn't. He was more like Ricky Nelson.
Yeah.
Because he was, all the moms and dads, he played to the moms and dads too.
Yeah.
He was charming and he wasn't the iconoclast that kind of Elvis was, where they had to film him from the hips up because they were worried about him shaking his unit on TV and scaring the little girls.
I interviewed Cliff Richards.
Mm.
He came on the show. He brought his guitar.
Oh my God!
And I couldn't shut him up. He was fantastic.
You got such a great voice too.
He couldn't. We played like 50 songs. I'm like, all right, Cliff, leave now. I've had enough.
Oh.
He was excellent. So good. And you know what he was doing? He was out here doing a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's still having a go.
Right. That was like in the early 80s. Was it early 80s,
No.
or are you talking about later?
No, this was like 2004.
Oh, wow, really?
2005. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him at the country club or something, a little club in L.A. It was like, I don't know, a couple of hundred people.
Yeah.
I'm going, you guys don't know. This is Cliff frigging Richard.
No one knows.
No.
Other than, it's so funny.
We don't talk anymore. Yeah.
And Devil.
She's just the devil woman.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Other than that,
Yeah.
no one has a clue.
Yeah, he's our. He took out. He was in the same pantheon as Elvis.
He was trying. He was doing Elvis.
Yeah.
And
he was
what I mean?
great looking, and he did the moves, but it was like you
Clean.
see him
It's
now.
all clean.
It was clean moves. Yeah, it was clean moves, and they all the shows then were Morecambe and Wise and all these shows. It were kind of almost still had a vaudeville vibe to them, and the Beatles would go on them and dress up in funny hats and stuff and do skits. It was we're still coming out of that whole.
Who
era.
was the bass player? Harris.
Jet Harris.
Jet Harris.
Oh.
What a name, man.
He was.
I wish I would have come up with that name.
I know. Isn't that an awesome name? He died not long ago too, Jet, and he had a big problem with alcohol, and that's why Bruce kicked him out of the band. He looked like James Dean. He was like he was the babe.
Blonde. Dyed his
blonde.
barnet.
Yeah, blonde. He was a great-looking guy. Amazing bass player. Incredible bass player. I mean, hear the stuff he did on the Shadows records. It's really great stuff. Almost a jazz player he was.
That alcohol.
Yeah,
gets you every time.
Dude, he from the Shadows, who were like the biggest band, he ended up being a conductor on a London frigging
a
double-decker bus. He was a ticket collector.
Fares, please.
Yep, fares. That'd be threepence.
Unbelievable.
And he had all these pubs on the route, and he would line up drinks with the pub guys so they could jump off the bus at the bus stop, run in, knock back a pint, and then jump back on the bus.
On the bus.
Yeah, and he'd do that all day long. And then he finally hooked up with this girl that helped him get clean, and he did some of his records after that. He did some solo stuff I have them on my iPod. They're amazing things.
So did he sober up?
Yeah, he sobered up, and he had his own show, and he'd talk about the Shadows, and he was a very funny guy. He had a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Lost all that beautiful hair.
Yeah.
But he had a great sense of humor about himself.
Yeah. Let's play some music. We're here with Rick Springfield. This is great. I love this. We're both fans of.
Yeah. It's over here. You go Shadows, and they go, what?
Yeah. What Shadows?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Where are they, on the wall? You mean?
We're going to play. This is something from your past.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This is a band called Zoot.
Oh my God.
That's from your new album.
It is.
That track was called Little Demon,
Mm-hmm.
and the album's The Snake King. Rick Springfield in the studio. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Aren't we, Rick?
Here we are.
Tell me we are.
We are. I don't get to talk about this kind of stuff much. It's great to have someone who knows knows that music scene that deep.
Yeah. We had another thing in common. We both was on Californication too.
Were you naked?
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like you being naked. They liked you being naked on that show.
I actually gave Tom Capanos, the creator, I actually gave him an idea for a scene, and he
Oh,
ran with it.
really?
I can't really talk about it. But
That's great.
I don't know how to say it nicely.
Right. There's no, yeah. We can imagine.
Yeah,
Californication.
I said, has there ever been a scene in a movie where, you know, the old rusty sheriff's badge has been tampered with? He's like, no. I'm like, let's put that in there.
Dude, I've seen stills. I've signed stills of myself from that show, and I go, when did I do a porno movie?
Did you have to wear the old...
the little pink thing.
The
Yep.
thing, yeah.
The little sticky pink outfit.
That was weird.
It was very weird. And it was, you know, you walk in and like everybody's kind of naked, and you go, okay,
Yeah.
this is acting. I
Yeah.
can do this.
It's method acting.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna,
remember what sex is.
yeah, we're gonna visit the Duke. When we come back, we'll have some more chit chat here with Rick Springfield. You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was Rick Springfield. Love is all right tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That
It's
was
the only happy song I've ever written.
I think Jesse's girl's pretty happy.
No.
Oh,
I
lyrically,
didn't get it.
but tune-wise, it's
Tune-wise,
it's
yeah,
happy.
that's it. But all my lyrics are from pretty
Now,
things I didn't get.
is that just a fantasy lyric, or actually there was
Which one?
Jesse's girl?
No, it's all real stuff. I was,
So you had a mate. His name was Jesse.
no, his name was Gary. I changed it because,
Oh, see,
well, Gary didn't sing. Can you imagine?
I wish that I was Gary's bird. Gary.
Yeah, sport. His name was Bruce, actually. Hi, Bruce. This is Bruce.
I wish
He's
I
in
was a
charge of the
Belushi's girl. So go on then. Did he know you wrote a song about him?
No. I left. We separated. You know, friendship. Not. I mean, they were in a class I was in. I was taking stained glass class. So I don't know.
Stained glass.
Yeah, I know. It was a serious career sidestep for me, but I thought I can support my family with this, my future family, by being a stained glass master. But
Wow.
I wasn't cut out for it. But there was this hot girl, and I was hot for her, and she didn't want anything to do with me, so I went home and wrote a song about it.
Why could she not want nothing to do with you?
She had a boyfriend.
You were such a stud back then.
She didn't think so.
So you,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought, you know, I thought I could, you know, I tried to chat with her, but I've never been good with a chat with the Colleens. Never been good with it. So
You're better with a guitar
yeah,
and
that's why one of the
let
reasons I
that
picked
do
the
the
guitar up.
talking.
Yeah, let the guitar do the talking, because I would be like, you know, yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, you had no
No chat at all.
no game. You were such a stud, though. Looking.
Well, I mean, Australia is not quite the same as America. Growing up, when I grew up, looks were not as honored kind of as they are over here, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I came over here with my music, and suddenly they're all talking about, you know, putting me in the teen magazines because they thought I was
Right.
cute, and I'm going, what? That's not what I'm here for, you know. And
Yeah.
and I think growing up in Australia, it's a kind of the tall poppy syndrome, where if you think you're too much, they'll lop your fucking. Oh,
Uh-oh. I knew it.
sorry,
I knew it.
Once the Aussie comes out,
It's always the guys you don't think who are going to swear.
Sorry,
Swear every time.
FCC, send me a bill,
Is
please.
that a football club?
Oh, no, what is it? FCC?
FCC.
Yeah. Fitzroy Football Club, mate. Footy.
What was he talking about?
I have no idea. What was I saying?
No, it's okay. It's
Oh, yeah, the tall puppy syndrome. No,
No,
and I was
but
never
no.
aware of the look thing
this
until
was
they
what I
started
was gonna
pointing it
say.
out. kind
So
of
when
thing.
you came here, and they were selling you as a teen idol, you didn't like it.
No, I mean, at first, I'd never seen a teen magazine. They didn't have them in Australia when I was a kid and when I was younger. And they came over here, and I was doing all these interviews with all these magazines and talking about my music, you know. And, yeah, I've been playing guitar. I was in this band called Zoot in Australia, and I'm now over here trying to do with a solo career. And they'd bring out these articles like, is Rick Springfield too tall to love? And, like, list my favorite color. And I'm going, this wasn't what the interview was about. And it was quite an eye opener.
So you thought people weren't taking you seriously?
Yeah,
you
they
wanted
weren't.
to be a serious musician.
I came over because I didn't get the teen idol thing. We didn't have that over there. The teen magazines that cater purely to the young kids, but then I started to get a lot of press and started to get a lot of attention. I mean, I was up at one point to replace David Cassidy when he left the Partridge Family, which I'm glad didn't happen because it wouldn't have been a good career move. But back then, I was starting to get into the teen thing. Going, well,
you would have done it if you would have got the gig.
Yeah, I would have. You know, I did this cartoon show that lame cartoon show that they talked me into doing, and I'll do that. I'll write a song, pop song for it, and so anyway, it was they were trying to push me this direction, and there was so much impetus behind it, and so much energy and money that they put behind it that I'm going, well, I guess I got to make this work.
Who's they?
Well, Steve, my manager, who did the Elvis, he directed the Elvis special.
Yeah.
The Elvis '68 special, the black leather jacket.
Yeah.
Black leather suit. And he was, he loved the music, but he saw the attention that I was getting because I looked a certain way. And so they kind of went with that. They said, okay, this is our way in. But they still, they believed in the music. I mean, that's what they heard first. But it kind of took over. And in the end, I realized it wasn't going to work. And so I separated from the managers. I love Steve still. He's a fabulous guy. But it was going the wrong direction. I knew I had to take a break to get back to playing, being taken at least moderately seriously. And then I joined General Hospital.
Yeah.
And it all went to hell in a handbag.
That's a big transition, right?
It is. I know. I didn't get it. I'd had 3 records out in 1979, 80. Hadn't had a hit. I'd been pretty bare, nothing but crickets. And I had this new record called Working Class Dog that had Jesse's Girl and a bunch of songs on it, and I was sure nothing was going to happen because nothing had happened, and the record company kept delaying the release because they didn't know what to do with it because, it was ballads and disco still was just, it wasn't dying, but it wasn't dead, but it was coughing up blood, so. And so I was unsure what was going to happen, so I took this soap opera gig, thinking it was just old ladies that watched it and it wouldn't have any effect on my music career. And then it became like the biggest show of the summer,
And you did that for a couple of years?
2 years, 18 months.
Yeah. That's a lot of work, and it's soaps. It's a lot of...
so hard, dude. It's the hardest acting gig in the world. They give you 30 pages. You got to memorize. It was all about line memorization for me. I couldn't get past that. It was just remembering the freaking words.
And it's all quick, right?
It's all dialogue because there's no action in a soap opera. They'll talk about the plane that crashed or the train that hit the car or the crosswalk, but they won't show it. So you got to talk about it. Budget is limited on soaps.
Was it good though?
No, it was terrible though. But I got $500 a week.
That was it.
That was it. But that was more money than I'd ever seen. I was like, I took the gig because of the money, because I didn't have any money, and I said, this is regular money. I can get this money every week. I'll be very, very happy for that. So I was excited about it, and then everything hit, and I didn't actually ask for more money. I just asked for more time off so that I could tour. Because once the music took off, that's what I wanted to do.
You give me an idea now.
What?
About my radio show. Have more time off. Now,
time off.
How many albums have you sold? A lot.
I think the last count was like 25 million or something like that.
And did you get screwed on that?
No, I got paid, but there was the usual stuff which when you sign on with back then they say you're going to make videos, you're going to pay for them, but we're going to own them. And you're going to pay for the recording, and we're going to own that too.
A typical record company contract.
Yeah, I've got a lot of my music back because of the copyright revision, but it still had reminiscent of here, we'll give you $2 for your song.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still had that kind of thing in it.
Yeah.
People are still getting screwed, and everybody I know who's gone back and looked at their catalog has got money. There's hidden money there. I never did that, sadly, but there's too much time has passed.
Yeah.
But I know that of course there was money. They were hiding money.
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. It was a done thing. You just accept. I mean, there was a thing called returns that they held
Oh,
all
that
this
was
money
a whole
for,
scam.
thinking
That
that money that eventually people would return the record, right?
Yeah.
Even though it sold like 5 million copies. Well, we got to hold money for returns. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's another thing we got in common.
Getting screwed by the
Yeah.
record company?
Yeah.
Right on. Not everybody can say that.
We're gonna play. Is this? Would you say like? Is this your big? Whenever you play live, this is the big song everyone waits for.
Yeah, pretty much. You can't really leave without playing it.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
there are other favorite songs, but this is the one where, like, you know, you suddenly realize how big the audience is because the iPhones come up,
Yeah.
you know, and start filming. I mean, you see, like, Paul McCartney has a great line. He said, I see all the iPhones when we're playing Beatles songs, but when I play a new song, it's a black hole.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
That bugs me. The filming.
Well,
thing.
you know, I mean, I'm very proud to at least, you know, have one song that, you know, is kind
No,
of...
not that. The filming thing bugs me.
I don't mind that. I mean,
Not your song.
Oh,
I love Jessie's Girl. You kidding?
Yeah, I don't mind the filming thing. I mean, I know there's the only time it sucks is like I went to a friend's birthday wedding.
And they're all filming it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm drunk as a skunk, and I get up and play Jessie's Girl, and I forget the words. I mess a solo up. It's horrible. And
it's
there's some guy filming it.
Yeah, big hit on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube.
I'm
Thank you very
telling
much
you,
for that.
man,
Appreciate it.
you can't go anywhere.
No, I
like
know.
we was telling
No.
you.
Look here, they got cameras set up everywhere. I can't pick my nose.
I told you, I was down an alley the other day having a lag. And I look up, there's a bleeding camera.
We see you taking a whiz.
Yeah, it could come back and bite you in the arse, though, you know? Just something simple like that. Apparently,
Yet they can't identify the guy that, you know, kidnaps the woman off the street, right? But they can see you peeing in a corner.
yeah. Let's play Jessie's Girl. Rick Springfield, Jonesy's Jukebox, and KLOS. That was The Faces, Cindy, Incidentally. And before that was Rick Springfield, Jessie's Girl. Now, I've got a question. I looked on YouTube. There's guys who are showing you 1,000 different ways to play it.
Right.
All right? Do you? Is it you
No, it
basically
was up
play?
here.
You're actually doing it there.
The easy way is that's it was written that way. Like that.
Okay. But it does sound right when you do it there.
Yeah, it's a kind of it's definitely got a sound to it. Can you hear me? Am I good? I'm not like talking away from the mic, am I? Uh-oh.
Now you're good. I've got a tuner.
You got one of those clip-on ones? I love those things.
Shark.
Snark or something.
Snark, yeah, go on. Can't see what I'm doing. There you go. You got something, Shovel?
Yeah, this portion of Jonesy's Jukebox brought to you by Land Rover.
That's it?
That's it?
Was you out much?
No, it's telling me I'm in.
Just talk amongst yourself if you're driving around. You good?
Yep, close enough.
Let me have a go now. Let's waste another 2 more minutes.
Yeah, all right. Talk amongst yourselves. We're tuning.
Talk about... Okay, here we go. We're going to do... This is another thing we got in common.
The Shads.
The Shads. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Check it out. I'm going to be Hank Marvin, you Bruce Host, and Tony Meehan.
okay. Oh.
He does that. Woo! Apache.
Did I mess up? I shouldn't have went back into that bit, right?
It goes into something else. There's another part to it, I think, isn't there?
Down, 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 down.
Right.
Down, down, down.
It's gonna fade out.
Did I?
Lovely. That was lovely.
We're going to visit the Duke. That was me and Rick doing Apache from the Shadows. Beautiful song.
Yep.
And we'll be, we coming back afterwards?
Come back to wrap it up.
We're going to come back and wrap it up after the Duke. Thank you.
On the next Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox. We're here with my guest, Rick Springfield. We're going to attempt another instrumental.
We love instrumentals.
This is This was an American band,
American,
right?
yep.
Who did this?
American chantés.
Chante. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Chantix.
I don't even know if it's a surf term. Chant. I mean, probably chant, singing. I don't know.
Chante.
It's certainly not a. All these surf guys that played, none of them surfed. The Beach Boys didn't surf.
No, once.
None of them surfed, right? There probably was a couple. I mean, I think
They
the
didn't
drummer
even
of
have
Beach Boys-
baths. They didn't even take a bath.
No.
Here we go. We're going to attempt our version of Pipeline.
Here we go. This is without electric. Vamping on this bit. There it is.
There we go.
Surf's up, baby.
Jonesy's Jukebox, KLOS, with my guest, Rick Springfield.
Hello.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a great time.
That was a blast. That was a blast. You got a new album, Snake King, out this Friday, January 26. And you doing any gigs?
Yeah, we're doing a Grammy Museum thing, and we're doing a listening party, and then we're on the road, right? Yeah, we're out there.
All right. You appeared with Meryl Streep, I just read. Breaking news.
I did. She was great. A movie called Ricky and the Flash. Actually, we were talking about Tom Petty, and we did a Tom Petty song in it. We play a bar band. Right?
Yeah.
And we did American Girl in it. And like a couple of years, 2 years after it, I was like getting, the doctors get my throat checked, and I'm in the pharmacy, and this guy walks in, and he says, "Rick, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He says something. He says, I say, "Sorry, dude, I'm really hard of hearing." What'd you say?
Yeah.
He said, "I'm Tom Petty."
Yeah.
I just wanted to say I really like your version of American Girl you did in the movie.
Yeah. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Well, we got to knock it on the head. I'd love to chat some more.
Yeah.
But we got to knock it on the head. What you got, Shovel?
This portion of Jonesy's Jukebox brought to you by Pachanga Resort and Casino.
Ah, great.
I played there.
Ka-chunga, chunga,
I think I played there.
Chunga, chunga, burning love. That's it. We got to go. Got no time for chatting.
Couple minutes.
Couple of minutes. Okay, let's go then. I don't know what else to talk about. What I want to talk about is not what we should be doing at the end. But next time. Yeah. Next time. I'll see you tomorrow. Do we have anyone on tomorrow?
Not sure yet. We'll keep it a secret.
Okay, big secret. Yeah, big secret. You better listen.
Is it Elvis?
Stuart Copeland's coming on Wednesday.
Yeah. That's not tomorrow though. No. Tomorrow's still a big secret. You better listen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the president of Vegemite coming up.
I'd like to say.
I'd love to get some of that. I want to know the recipe.
I'm going to reveal the recipe to you, blokes.
Blokes? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 12.